like the craziest thing ever.
So this morning we have the what's the word? The core team. We have the core team, and Bharat and I were down in person at the SVP meeting this week. So that was awesome. I'd seen the field support from the road before, as we whizzed past somewhere one time, but I'd never actually been in. So it was absolutely brilliant for me to be able to be there in person, and it just felt like family coming together. It really was. It was just a great time to be together, and yeah, it just felt like old friends in the same room, and a lot was achieved and spoken about, and so yeah, Bharat's gonna give us a bit of a lowdown, and I think probably because we've got just an hour, I'll let Bharat crack on straight away with that. Take it away.
Thank you very much, Anna. I think it's quite brilliant that physical meeting with all other key leaders, especially the steering committee, IT department, and CEO himself was present on the meeting. And as we talk about the company, it's absolutely going in the right directions and very exciting, to be honest. On the SVP meeting, there were lots of talk about the where the company is heading, how the shares of the company is going to be, and the projections, and how we progressing towards having what you call the really a good partnership with the Vitality, and our projections, and a lot of planning. And there were discussion about the project nurtures, and more focused on the coming event that the mini convention, should I say. It's a mini convention, and a good, exciting, very exciting news for all the ladies, the leaders. Especially we have got nearly half of the leaders are ladies, and more than half of the leaders in whole of the Flynnstars doing the beating, what you call the Jeff says, the kicking the man's backside, what is pretty amazing. I'm not going to go in detail that what's been talked about, but certainly I'm going to talk about, especially our hierarchies. Used to be the second largest hierarchies. The Flynnstar hierarchy was the second largest hierarchy, apart from Steve Jenkins. So we are shaping up pretty well in terms of, in building our hierarchies. And I think particularly we all have got ups and downs. Business. I know the business is just a winter season for us, and what is it called? It united we stand, divided we fall. So obviously this is something that we are united in terms of Flynnstar hierarchy, and then we have got considering all the past projections and everything, that we are absolutely in the right directions to go beyond and really explode our business as a Flynnstar hierarchy. I really want to reiterate again the company in terms of the products and services, that the investment is the biggies. I think Anna will cover that a little bit as well, because we used to have a quite, yes, we used to have like a Vitality investments, and they are looking for couple of investment companies, but it didn't really match to our clients, especially I think the working class, as we are just it's a biggies, like investing 10,000, 20,000, even more. but now the investment is, I believe in my hierarchies, when we talk about our customers, is more like a investing little but in a consistent manner. So I think it's coming pretty soon, and it's a big announcement on 28th and 29th, including the Clara Devry. We had the session last night as well with the Bill Orender, and just showing us the bigger vision and the bigger goals. I think that relates to really, as we are leaders in Genistar. I think in terms of talking about the vision, goals, and everything, Genistar is pretty same. Only the projection is lower, but the Genistar is absolutely same as Primerica. I know it's a £6 billion company, but Genistar is the valued as between 20 millions at the moment, and really focusing going to double within 3 to 5 years time. So that means when we talk about the free shares, it is pretty exciting that we all can qualify free shares, and that shares, even one shares could be as high as £200, similar as Primerica, as shares of $179, I think, as of last year before. I don't know exactly, I haven't researched that yet. The Premier is back on. We know we still have got existing clients from Premiers. We have got now Nest GI providing similar but more, and we have got more choices. Not actually discussed last meeting, but they were talking about bringing Legal and General and Aviva as well in the production line. They were talking about the car insurance, which is pretty good from my point of view, because I've already referred for clients. They said that it's pretty good. So that is part of our product that we can really refer to our clients. Other subjects were talk about the IT. The upgrading is pretty amazing. It's exciting that we will have the mobile apps coming in. Commission, that they will be running commission is day in the future, as they are saying, we kind of have got a pension kind of. They talk about, when they talk about investment, they talk about the pension funds and the junior ISAs, junior investments, and the adult investments. So it is pretty exciting in terms of where the company is going. What else was discussed? Okay. And project, especially talking about the project nurture, and if I just forget to mention anything, Anna, just remind me later, and we can add it up too. But that project nurture is a key. I think we have got a couple of people really going for not only EBPs but up to NSTs. So I think we really need to motivate them, encourage them, and show them the vision that this is it. And the most important part is that we as leaders, even though if you haven't got any key leaders who is potential to be EBP, they still, I think it's all encouraged to attend that, so that at least we are accountable. At least we know exactly how actually lead our team. Yesterday I just took one point, particularly our business is all about mindset, 90% of mindset. I think one point when we went to Atlanta, Georgia, with all 10 top key leaders, including myself and Roger Davis. The Art William also mentioned about mindset. 90% is mindset, remaining 10% is just skills and the activities. And at the moment, I think we have got mindset, and we still need to enlarge that. But the activity and the skills, I think that's where we are lacking, and mostly the activities, and I think Anna will talk about the priorities as well. That's where we are slightly lacking, as far as I know, for me. I will just really in the coming days, probably we just go through all, in detail about our visions, not only the Flynnstars vision, but as a whole, as a GenStar vision, and where we actually fall into where we actually sit into GenStar pie. But just the two things that I would like to prioritize is that our social, absolutely social get together, and I have just took out the planner that 5th of November, 12th of November, and 26th of November. That's all Saturdays, and if you can tally your calendar, and then the majority, if you can, we can discuss here that which one is the best one, because the 5th of November is closest to the balance builder program. But if you see on the 12th of November, that's mid of November anyway, and the 26th of November is closest to the Christmas. So whichever date is suitable for you, that I discuss with my wife, and she can have can be off, at least she can take off on that time. So that is the date we need to fix today, so that I can arrange everything here, and then so that you can enough time have to travel and arrange things. That's one. Is really highlight, would like to highlight that going to this balance builder is the key, especially for our leaders. Even if you haven't got anyone else, that if we go there, it's just a face-to-face meeting, same as Anna and myself, met twice this month and last month. It was very, very good that talking to screen or on the Zoom is all the time. It's sometimes boring. So let's meet, and let's have some fun together. That's a key thing. On 29th, the 28th, we as a gents, I don't know whether you want to get involved with the activities, either golfing or another just good fun as well. But on 29th is like a fast start school, and it is a good opportunity to meet, even a one day, and we have a separate price for that. I know I have already had 2 days even ticket, I think 3 weeks ago, and still trying to get couple of downlines, and Milan is going, Vim is going, and I will ask another EVPs as well to at least lead from the front and be there, and let's meet face to face. I would like to really tell my experience. And when I was group leader, I wasn't even an EVP. I took about 8 people in not it's a millionaires mindset, or millionaires university, so they say. And I was just a group leader at the time. When I was a team leader, I took about nearly 7 people in millionaires university. I haven't actually, I missed this competition, but I haven't actually missed a single competition where I didn't actually win. And every event, apart from I think some social event like a picnic stuff, but I haven't actually missed any event of GenStar so far. So I think that really comes into a mindset that I will make it happen. And if we think that we can make it happen, then it is really a the activities comes into action. So I really encourage. I mean, we are all grown-ups anyway, so I shouldn't saying this, but we all have a mindset, and we are all leaders anyway. I don't have to express enough to this event, so that at least we can meet there physically. And then the next one we'll be meeting here in my house. So there's 2 meetings I would like to really two social events. I would like to retweet, and then let's work together. And united we stand, and divided we fall. Let's unite and then get together. That's all for me, Anna. If you just take it back to you.
Great, thanks so much, Bharat. Yeah. I think the last thing that Bharat was just saying there was a really key point, really, that when there are face-to-face meetings, that we prioritize it as leaders, as EVPs, as full-time people in the business, that we get ourselves there. And it is put forward as a women's event, but the Saturday is for everybody. And I think that in terms of all of our expressions of our goals and dreams, in terms of you guys building your businesses and being on that path to SVP, I think this is almost like a discipline that you can have at the big, wherever you are on that journey, really, to commit to going to those events, because the field support are putting it on, well, the women in Genistar are putting it on, and as we lead from the front and consistently do that, our teams that become added see what we're doing, and that leading from the front. So please all commit to that for every event that comes on. And I saw Roger going and attending, and there's always the stories of I went and no one turned up, but that's the discipline of being a leader, and that as you do that, your mindset, as Bharat's been saying, is what you are flexing and building, even in attending a meeting like the Belief Builders conference in October. So yeah, Bharat touched on a few things from the SVP meeting, and I've just got my notes in front of me, and I'll just give you a few of the highlights that were there for me. Jeff is arranging some coaching for the SVPs with Gary Clark, who is the previous oversight for Hillsong UK. So that's going to be exceptional, and we will be bringing that back to you guys and sharing that coaching that we receive. There is some restructuring going on in FSC. They're putting the right people on the right seat in the bus, so that's exciting. Hannah Ketchik is project managing and is going to be head of operations, and Jeff and Mark are stepping out of all administrative roles. And just so that you know, because I think it's important that you do, that if anything actually happened to Jeff, that Mark Ketchik would step in as CEO. So that's an important piece of information that you need to know. Yeah, but there was talk about our core purpose being financial freedom for all, and that part of that is how we look after people, doing what's right 100% of the time. We also had the director of the Vitality Services team there, so that was great to really be able to talk with, I think her name was Lara Facioni, and we had Lynn Hamilton on the call as well, who's the central financial franchise director. So it was great to be able to see those people and be able to talk and share. Tapasya from FSC shared some of the challenges that we have sometimes in terms of underwriting and getting policies through. One of the exciting things that we were presented was the money farm, which is the investment opportunity that Bharat's already mentioned. And we are we were put through how actually the process of a client using this. So it was really exciting. It's very user friendly. He described it as a digital wealth manager. So he talked about that the initial investment is between 5 and 10,000, I believe. And that the current typical customers, the average age is 37 years. Okay, so actually, right, yeah. The minimum entry for this digital wealth manager is actually £500. But it looks like, yeah, in my notes, the typical investment is between £5,000 and £10,000. Yeah, so that's really exciting. It's a really exciting. So that's something that's going to be announced at the Belief Builders at the end of October. So, you know, I can't say how exciting that was to be able to see that. Some of the issues surrounding that were that were brought up by the SVPs was how do we take the client through that, and that actually, you know, there's an initial questionnaire that a client would have to go through that's associated with their attitude to risk. So we would have to obviously work out, and this is something that's going to be worked out through you know, all of us servicing clients in this way. So there's a few sort of things that need to get ironed out in that sense. But it's very user friendly. It gives you a bit of a questionnaire, and then it tailors this digital wealth management what do you call it, AI, what does AI stand for?
Artificial
intelligence. Yeah, so it basically uses all that, and it's really, really exciting to see it in use. So that was really, really exciting. So I sent this to you. Let's move on. I sent an email to you today, last night. No, I think it was in the early hours of this morning. I went to bed quite late last night. But just in terms of talking with Steve Jenkins as to where we're up to now. Usually he would be on this call. Steve's been had some hospital treatment, so couldn't make it this morning, and so we decided, Bharat and I, that we should take the next 4 weeks with Bharat and I on this call, and that Steve will join us again on the 17th. But just really looking at, you know, where we're all up to. We've gone through goals and dreams, we've gone through all sorts of things with Steve, but that you know, there's been different things that each of us are going through, and the holidays, obviously, with people going away. But you know, there's I believe there's been some real breakthroughs for people. You know, Kaz was on the team training on Saturday as one of the top earners there, and I believe also sorry, my brain's gone blank. Sam as well, Sam Lee. So you know, that's really exciting in terms of seeing how the hierarchy is growing. But in terms of what we can work through, just a short session. Did anybody manage to print this out, and have you got it in front of you or on your screen? It's
yeah, I have got in my screen. I didn't actually time to have it.
Yeah.
But
yes, it's just a snapshot from something that I believe you may well have already gone through at one point with Roger, the Developing the Leader Within You, by John Maxwell, and it's got 10 lessons in this book. And I was having a little look through, and you don't have to necessarily go through in order this type of thing. But have you got the workbook there, IT? Yeah. Did everybody get the workbook at all? Is that something that you actually did with Roger at one point? Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
Okay.
I think we have it.
Great. I don't think there's any harm in revisiting something like this because, you know, we've just had some different teaching from Steve, but I looked through the book and I just felt that lesson 2, the key to leadership, priorities, was probably very relevant for where we all are, having come out of that season with Steve Jenkins recently. So, and also what I loved about it was there were some of Roger's notes also in the way that he did, underlining things and highlighting things. So I thought you'd all enjoy that. But there's a point to consider at the end. So I think it's okay to read something through. It's a very short snapshot, and if you've read it already, then perhaps this will be serve as a few moments just to reflect on some of the thoughts you might have already had on reading it. So do you have plenty of time to do all that you want and need to do in a day? I'm guessing the answer is no. I've yet to meet many busy leaders who feel they have more than enough time to do all they want. In lesson 1, I mentioned that at age 40, I realized I alone couldn't work any harder or any longer. So I started investing in people. But I also realized that I needed to improve the way I managed myself and my time. People used to talk a lot about time management, but the reality is that you can't manage time. Managing something means controlling it, changing it. When it comes to time, there's nothing to manage. Everybody gets 24 hours in a day. We can't add another hour or subtract one. We can't slow it down or speed it up. Time is what it is. Coach and speaker Jamie Cornell wrote, "Time cannot and will not be managed, and you will never get more of it. The problem is rooted in the choices you are making with others and your own choices. You choose how to use it every moment of every day, whether you believe you do or not. For anyone who leads, the question is not, will my calendar be full, but who and what will fill my calendar? When I feel that I don't have enough time, I need to examine myself, my choices, my calendar, my priorities. These are the things we can control, not time. We need to determine how we will spend the 24 hours we have every day. That requires us to prioritize our time so we get more production out of those hours. That's especially true for leaders because our actions impact so many other people. That's why I want to help you identify what you ought to want as a leader, not according to my priorities, but according to yours. And I want to help you follow through on priorities effectively to enhance your life and improve your leadership. So priority principles. Someone once said, an infant is born with a clenched fist, an adult dies with an open hand. Life has a way of prying free the things we think are so important. If you want to develop the leader within you, don't wait for tragedy to realign your priorities. Become proactive about the process starting today. Begin by acknowledging the following principles. 1. Working smarter has a higher return than working harder. Novelist Franz Kafka said, productivity is being able to do the things you were never able to do before. How do you make that happen? Doing the exact same things with greater intensity rarely works. As Albert Einstein allegedly pointed out, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. Disciplined use of the time everybody else wastes can give you the edge. So how do you get better results? You have to rethink how you do something. You have to work smarter. That means finding better ways to work and making the most of the moments you have. Marketing expert Dan Kennedy says, disciplined use of the time everybody else wastes can give you the edge. What leader doesn't want that? So I also put on the email the paper version of the weekly calendar. And you know, I just wonder maybe when they're in these next few moments that we've got left, it's worth just, you know, people volunteering what their challenge is, and in terms of their time, and being honest about what your next step is going to be on that journey. Because I think we've gone with Steve along this path, and I think, you know, it's a process. And so maybe some successes, if you want to share that first, but also just, well, what's your next challenge? What can you do with this 24/7, 7 days a week, in terms of this next week that's coming? So I'm going to open up the floor now.
Anna, I think before that, could I just add just a couple of points there? We always discussed and have been always told by either Jeff Leach or Steve Jenkins, and we all know that as well. But I think Rogers also, they put a note on top right-hand corner that number one priority is recruiting, and number two priority is premium. So I think recruiting, I always keep in mind that recruiting really drives the premiums, and that's internal premiums is the strongest premiums, I think, in my opinion, because I think for the last couple of weeks I have actually drawn down my existing clients of 1,063 something so far, that the most of them are reps, that's left reps or reps. So more than half are reps. So that means the internal consumption is the strong one, should I say. So I think we can give priority to recruiting. We can give, and that really draw downs to daily discipline. And as we are talking about, really drilling down to the key activity and the personal daily activity that really has to be concentrating on recruiting. I think that we have gone through this, the development leaders within yourself with Rogers, and I think most of the chapters. However, just we thought that the number one priority, the priority is the priority that what we actually going to do in our daily, weekly and monthly basis, and that really drives our, the huge distribution system. So I think it's quite good that we discussed today, and we can discuss what kind of until Steve J arrives, what kind of activity we can do, or maybe what kind of lessons we can do. You can just give the add value to us. Yeah, that's it. We can just open up in the floor, and then let's talk about.
Who wants to go first?
Maybe let me start.
It's a long silence, and then yes, sir.
Let me start this current season that I'm going through has been my lowest since I've been an EVP. Okay, and I'm just looking back, and I just said, okay, 2 weeks before I traveled, it was a bit kind of shaky because I was trying to get a visa to go to Ghana, and I was not getting a visa. And I got a visa about 2 days before I traveled. Then spent 4 weeks. That is almost 6 weeks. Then came back with problems at home. That's another 2 weeks. So we're talking about 8 weeks. And like I said in our meeting last week, if things happen like this in your life and you want to kickstart again, it takes a bit of energy and effort to start, because you've broken the loop. But if the loop is on, it's much easier to just keep going and just keep going. So one of the things that I'm doing right now is, creating a master list. I've got so many notebooks with so many names, loads of names. Currently I have over 200 to 300 referrals, people that you've called in the past where they've said another time. So what I've done is that I'm creating a master list, and that's what I'm using at the moment. So just a minute, please. 1 minute. Yeah. So that's what I'm doing. I think I'm going to start with the phone calls again, seriously, and the templates that you've given us. I mean, I'll try and put that to good use. So I think it's a very simple thing. We've had so many trainings, and we are EVPs as well. So I just have to do what I have to do. That's all.
So in terms of the journey that we've got with people going for the 10 by 10, there, Jeff talks about, really, in terms of building our businesses, we need to go back and behave like we're team leaders. So, I think for you guys that are EVPs, I think, 10 by 10 is mostly the focus.
Like, okay.
And I think that it's taking it right down to this calendar and what you're going to commit to. And I think that, from what I can tell about what Steve said, what I've seen, my own experience, it's what are you going to commit to? And it's taking that template, Tom, and then not allowing things to creep in, isn't it, on those things. Is there anybody who feels like they're successfully created a rhythm currently in their weekly activity?
IT.
I think first thing, Tom, initially when you're EVP, and then you just have got a rhythm, and then suddenly because you just went on holiday, and then suddenly just everything dies, and that's normal. That's normal for everyone in this business, because I have failed many times that way. And starting with the master plan. I mean, if you haven't got anyone else, do not think about your best self. To be honest, I don't think about my best self. If there's no one active suddenly, and then think about only yourself. What is the most important thing should I do actually? Because when we are drowned in a pond, or maybe in the swimming pool, then what people think is what person think is that how do I get a gasp of air, and that's the only thing. It doesn't think about the family or nothing else, just gasp of air, I think. And for me, I think I felt many times that I have to focus on myself, focus on, as you already mentioned, that take your master lists, or maybe get all the referral lists, and then each day I think we need to dive into the calling list, and creating momentum. For me, if I have to be honest, I am really in a mesh of not actually going through the daily discipline, and that's how I'm going to commit. I have actually committed that I have to. I don't have to focus on my team, because if they are dead, then not talk about the base shop, talk about only yourself, talk about only myself. What am I going to do? How am I going to create the momentum? And to create the momentum is again, come back to the basic. We don't have to tell anyway, but that is simply making the right the call list, and having the right power hour with the right people, and you will eventually get the right people when we call too many, should I say.
IT, how are you doing with your rhythm?
For me, I think my priority right now is the power hours. And I think I was saying to Pastor Yinka on one of the power hours that I'm seeing a lot of activity, but I haven't seen the results yet. And she just really encouraged me, and she said, IT, that's the only thing you can control, the activity, and the results show up. And as a result of that, this month is shaping up to be a better month, because we already have one recruit going through compliance. So I think for me, my priority for the rest of the year is just making sure that I'm on the power hours, because I know that out of those power hours, I will do the right activity, because I've tried to make phone calls by myself in the past. And sometimes I do it well, but there's nothing as powerful as when you're doing it with other people. So I think for me, that's one thing I'll really encourage us to do. As in, how can we work together instead of trying to do things by yourself? Because I remember Roger used to say that thing, that when you're trying to do it by yourself, you're like a piece of coal who's been taken out from the fireplace, and you're now trying to do something on your own. Before you know what's happening, the coal will lose its heat, and eventually it becomes just a lump of whatever. But if we can try to do things together a lot more, I think that will also help with our motivation, because we were not designed to do life by ourselves. Yeah. So that's just my focus for now, though.
That's great. I think, IT, that has also been my focus in, the weeks, and I feel like I've got out of the habit of that. But I know that in order to, I think I got disappointed perhaps where I wasn't seeing people. I mean, out of all the calls that I made, and I was regularly attending the power hour, I've got one recruit, but then he's gone on and got a recruit. So, I think it's those daily disciplines that do make a difference, and that's all to do with mindset. And I think I just posted in the chat again on the Flynnstars, the time frame and the power hour call meetings. And I just think maybe if today we can all commit to a target for this next 7 days in terms of being on those power hours, make a start, commit to something, put it out there, and then that's something that we can talk about next week as well, to be able to be creating those daily disciplines with calls. And I think, we'll see success from it. So I think from, in terms of the takeaway from this morning, it's that text, make a target, put it out there, make it public, use the planner, okay, and let's see what results we can get as a result of committing to the power hours. The great thing about the Steve J Power Hour is that people are there doing the stuff. And I really love that, we have had some power hours going along, I think, informally in amongst the team. But I think what can happen is it can become a place where, rightly, we interact with each other, and but perhaps perhaps it can be a little bit of a distraction as well, because of perhaps the chatting that rightly and needs to happen. But with Steve J's, everybody's there, everybody's just plowing away, they've got their heads down, and they're just getting it done. So I can encourage you to go on to that. And I think it really does feel like a business environment whereby you can hear people making calls, you can pick things up, and you can share your successes as well, and it's kept as a tally. So okay, Tom, what are you going to commit to on the Steve J on his hierarchy calls? What are you going to commit to this week, Tom?
With power hours, we have a regular power hours with CAS and IT. Yeah, and I think the problem is not, it's just being consistent. I don't think it's whether it's Steve J or whatever you do, but it's just getting it done when you said you want to do it.
Yeah. So what are you going to commit to, Tom?
Yeah, I mean, we have enough power hours during the week.
Yeah. How many are you going to do? How many are you going to do, Tom?
Every day we do power hours every day.
Okay, and you're calling.
Yes, every day. It's
So
every day.
how many?
How many power hours? So sometimes we do about 2 hours in the morning and sometimes in the evening as well. So maybe 2 hours in the morning and 2 hours in the evening on a daily basis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of actually doing that, are you finding that you're chatting a lot, or are you doing the calls?
No, we do calls, but sometimes we mix it up with other things like admin work, ask questions, problems that we're facing in terms of the business.
Yeah.
You know, every time you meet something that you've never seen before.
Yeah.
So but I think that we are at the tipping point where, I mean, we all need cash, we all need money. So I mean, it will be very odd for you not to be able to sit down and just think about what you have to do and do it properly. Because,
Okay, so I think yeah. IT, are you finding the power hours with Steve J as productive as your other one?
Definitely, because like with the Steve J one, you're there, you're making calls. Sometimes you have a chat. Then with the one that I do with Tom and Kaz as well, we're making calls and then we also have a chat because you need that break.
Yeah.
In between to be able to do stuff. And so I think, as Tom said, it's also doing it consistently. That's the main thing.
Okay. Yeah, so I think the consistency of the calls, you mean?
Yes, the consistency of the calls. That's the main thing. Doing it every single day. That's the key thing, because unfortunately, for the past few weeks, we haven't been as consistent because Tom's had issues at home. Kaz has had the children over on holiday.
Yeah.
But for this week, we're looking at a more consistent week in terms of our activity.
Okay. So whether it is Steve J's or the one that you do yourselves,
yeah,
can we post on the chat how many sessions you're going to commit to? Does that sound like something that would be of use?
Yeah, don't see why not. So you want us to post how many sessions we want to commit to for this week?
Yeah, and block it out on that diary.
Okay.
And then track your activity so that you're keeping yourself accountable, and note down the things that, if you don't attend, what it was that took you out from doing it. Because I think that that's a way of keeping yourself accountable, and that if we can share that here, it's going to be of some worth, in the sense that you can sort of take a look under the covers, if you like. What is it that's actually stopping the activity? Does that sound like something that would be of use? I know that it's been of use to me.
Mm.
Do you think that that would be of use?
yeah, as long as you're tracking yourself, because you have a goal, and if you don't track yourself, it'll be much more difficult to do that.
Yeah, I think that use that tracker. I think, you know, now post after this meeting what you're going to commit to, block it out on the paper timetable, and then keep a track of what your activity actually has been every day. So did I do this? You know, however you want to do that. Color it in green if you did it, color it in red if you didn't, whatever you want to do. But then that's a daily tracker, isn't it, for your daily discipline? So make the target now at the beginning of the week, and then daily go, yes, I did this, I did this, I did this. And then I think as you go on, it's like an accountability sheet for yourself. You can look back at what you did, you can make a new goal the next week, and you can be more aware of the things that are stopping you from achieving those things. that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. Yeah.
I think it's quite a useful tool. Has anybody else got anything to?
I think getting involved with Steve J's Power Hour twice a day is, I think, enough. But the only thing is, if we want to have our own Power Hour, that would be nice as well, if we can, if it's practicable in the future. And just the point is to have the weekly plan, so that at least we kind of engage with the right productive way. That's the main goal, I believe. I think we have a limited time. Could we? IT is leaving at 10:15. Just a date, Anna. Could you all agree with which date is preferable for our social gathering? Should I say Christmas social gathering?
Okay.
On November time.
My best would be the 5th or the 12th. Do you want to just post in the chat, people?
Yeah, if you kind of agree with the date, which date is most preferable date, and we majority, and then we'll just go with majority. Yeah, 5th, Anna, 5th, 12.
IT, what would
That is December, right?
No, that's November, because
Oh,
December.
sorry, November. Sorry.
Yeah, 12th. Yeah, that's me too. Personally, me 12th. Because the 5th of November is too early after what you call the balance builder. 112.
Okay.
Yeah. So IT is 12, Alex is 12. Me
It's
12.
a Saturday, Tom.
It's a Saturday. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, Saturday. Oh, I prefer weekend. So
yeah, looks like it's the 12th.
26. Oh, Thomas, 12.
I won't be able to do the 5th. I did the I put down
Milan.
the 20,
How about Milan? Are you
26.
listening? Beam?
I can't do the 5th.
If people don't post, we'll just make the date.
Yeah, anyway.
I think Kevin O'Malley was saying something. Kevin's saying something.
Yeah. I put in the 26th on the chat there because my daughter's 18th birthday is on the 6th of November. I can't do the 5th.
Can you do on 12, sir? Can you?
I could do 12th. I prefer the 26th, but I could do 12th, yes.
So that includes everyone is 12. So let's put on the diary, and we can discuss it later. But again, this is the diary I'm gonna put and then plan accordingly.
Yeah. Okay, we'll put that date in.
I will ask Sam and Alex is here. I asked Kaz, and Kaz is not here today. So Kaz and Kev. Could you ask Kaz and Kev, Anna, please, and give me text me.
Yeah.
But it's likely that it will be on the 12th.
Okay, great.
So yeah, what's Anna? Just so you can wrap it up, and what is next?
Yeah,
what is
what's
next?
So,
next week?
Do those trackings. Come ready with your timetable of what you actually achieved the week before, so that you can share your own goal and what you achieved. And I think we'll try and do that every week, so it's a weekly accountability. It's okay if it's Steve J's or your own. I think that it's just being aware of how much time you're actually spending making calls, and just, because just be aware of that within your meeting. I know that when I'm on with my camera on the Steve J meeting, I'm aware that I'm visible and that I'm making calls. So you could have a 2-hour power hour and you might only be making calls for 15 minutes. Do you see what I mean? So it's just being really aware of how you're using that time. If it's not Steve J's, it feels like Steve J's is really just a machine, that people are just making calls. Yeah. So just to finish up, on the team training as well, I'm just so grateful to Kaz and Kev for that, all the work that they're doing. One thing I think Bharat and I have talked about, it's important that as new people come on to the Team training, that they know who leads the hierarchy. So Bharat and I are going to be doing the welcome each week moving forward, just explaining who we are, and so that there's a picture of the leadership team really as we're starting that each training on a Saturday, because there's so many new people coming. And it's great is that, you know, Kev and Kaz have just done such an incredible job, and they're tracking everything as well, which is really, really great. Okay, I hope today's been useful, and looking forward to hearing about all the activity for next week. Thanks so much, everybody.
Just one final statement, Anna. This activities and everything we do is nothing like giving hard time to anyone. Just simply it's just being accountable to each other. I will be even accountable with Milan and Beam, they will accountable to us. This is just going our business, and then just doing the right thing and growing all together. So please don't think it's something that it's a absolute, you know, we have an independent business, but at the same time we have to get together. That's all. Have a great day and great productive weekend. It's a week, not a weekend. It's already weekdays. So
Thank you.
Thank
see you
you.
later, sir.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, see you later,
Yes.
everyone.
Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.